Forget battle royales, forget zombie shooters. Today we are talking about survival games where you actually have to build, craft, explore and fight to stay alive. Whether you are surviving in a freezing wilderness, exploring a dangerous wasteland, building a base on an alien planet or simply trying to stay alive with your friends, these free games prove that you don't need to spend money to have an amazing survival experience. Some of these games are very popular, have thousands of players, and while the others are kind of hidden gems that most people never heard of. But everything here is completely free to play. You can simply go ahead and download all of them from Steam. So without wasting any more time, here are 10 of the best free survival games to play right now in 2026. Alright, starting with a bit of an underrated survival game on Steam right now, and it is called Arid. So if you ever wondered you could survive one of the hottest deserts on earth, and that's pretty much what this game's try to answer. This is a completely free open world survival game created actually by a group of students, which is very impressive. But don't let that fool you, because there are a surprising amount of content, depth and mechanics built into this game. After your plane crashes in the middle of this Atacama desert, your main goal is very simple: stay alive as long as you can. But in order to do that, you need to search for water, collect resources, craft tools, cook foods, build shelter and explore this desert while trying to uncover what really happened. And the game actually does a pretty good job on how it's actually captured the feeling of being stuck inside this huge empty desert. It's a bit of a slow walking, realistic, kind of hardcore style of a survival game. Plus it's totally free to play and a completely offline single player experience you can download right now on Steam. At number 9 we have Ocean World Eden Crafters, and this is one of those games that can easily surprise you because how much it offers for being a free prologue. So in this game you land on this mysterious ocean planet and your job is to transform this empty world into a place where human can survive. You basically start with almost nothing, then have to collect resources, craft new tools, build your base while slowly making it more habitable. And this game is honestly kind of standout because it goes beyond the usual survival formula. You're not only gathering materials and building small shelters, you can create machines, automate production and build proper futuristic colony, and watching your tiny starting area turn into a working base is honestly one of the most satisfying parts in this game. Even though this is only the prologue version, there are a surprise amount of content here. You can actually spend several hours exploring, crafting and experimenting with different builds. It's available on PC, on Steam, totally free to download, and it also supports single player and online co-op multiplayer. Sometimes the simplest idea creates the most addictive games, and our next game, Muck, is a perfect example of that. At first glance it looked like a simple survival game, but once you started playing you quickly realize how chaotic and fun it can get. You wake up in this mysterious island with nothing but your fist, and your job is to collect resources, craft tools, build a base and find better weapons, and survive against waves of enemies that become stronger every night. The game does have a bit of a survival element mixed with role-like mechanics, so every time you start a new game the world changes, the resources are placed differently, and you never know what kind of enemies or items you will find. You can play completely solo, but where the game really shine is playing co-op with your friends. And obviously the game is totally free on Steam. It was actually created by a solo developer, Danny, and even after years later Muck still has a strong community on Steam, very positive reviews and about few hundred players jumping in every day. If you ever want to experience a survival game that feels like Fallout mixed with an online FPS, then Will to Live Online is a pretty interesting game to check out in 2026. The game set in this post-apocalyptic world where you play as a survivor, exploring this huge wasteland filled with mutants, abandoned locations and other players trying to survive. But instead of fighting enemies, you'll need to collect resources, complete missions, upgrade your gear, modify weapons and slowly improve your character as you explore the world. And the game does have that old school kind of like MMO style mechanics. You know, you can choose your own class, join clans, team up with other players and simply explore the game totally alone at your own pace. There is proper progression system with crafting, weapon upgrades, attachments and RPG elements that gives you a reason to come back to. But to be honest, in 2026 it's not the most easiest survival game to jump into. The progression can be a bit grindy, especially if you are starting as a complete beginner, but if you're willing to spend some time and learn the game mechanics, it is still one of the few hardcore free survival games you can play in 2026. Alright, moving on, we have a bit of a hidden gem that you probably won't expect to find in a free survival game list, and that is a game called Westland Survival. And this one originally released as a mobile survival game and later brought back to PC. Unlike other survival games, this one approached a bit differently and put you in the shoes of a cowboy trying to survive in the Wild West. But just like most survival games, you almost start with nothing, then you have to gather resources, craft weapons, tools, build your own ranch, hunt animals, and fight off these dangerous outlaws. And Obviously, you are surviving in the Wild West, so you gotta ride across the desert on horseback, defend your base, upgrade the gear, and slowly building up your own homestead, and it kinda giving you a surprisingly unique feeling. It also got some RPG elements like character upgrades, equipment progression, and plenty of missions to complete, but it's painfully obvious that it is a mobile game, and you can definitely notice some mobile style mechanics, but the PC version still offers a fun survival experience that works well with keyboard and mouse. It's totally free on Steam, single player as well, so download, try it out, especially if you're looking for something more simple and easy to run. When it comes to free-to-play survival games, Stay Out is a game that you're probably already familiar with. It's a pretty well-established survival-style MMO that drops you into this massive post-apocalyptic world filled with abandoned towns, dangerous mutants, strange anomalies, and other players trying to survive. And from the moment you step into the zone, you're free to explore the world, complete quests, search for valuable loot, upgrade your character, weapons, and armor. And one thing I really like about Stay Out is the atmosphere. The world feels darker, mysterious, and sometimes even a little creepy, kind of like stalker games. There is also survival mechanics, PvP, PvE, clans, and plenty of endgame content if you enjoy grinding for better gear. And being a multiplayer only MMO, you will always share the world with other players. The game is already a few years old, but the developers are still pushing new updates, new content, which is really great to see. It is only available on PC, on Steam, and it's totally free to check out. At number 4, we got a very popular game, and that is Unturned. And it's honestly hard to believe this game was actually created by one developer when he was only 16 years old. And even with its simple blocky graphics, it's become one of the biggest free survival games ever made. In this game, players drop into this zombie-filled open world. You have to gather resources, craft weapons, build a base, farm, fish, hunt, and do whatever it takes to survive. The game gives you complete freedom to play however you want. You can jump in with your friends or either solo. It's all up to you. In terms of graphics, it looks very simple, but don't let that fool you because there are a lot more depth than most people expect. There are different maps to explore, vehicle to repair and drive, and skill to level up, huge community servers, and even mod supports that add tons of extra content. Obviously, a very popular survival game to play in 2026 and available on PC, on Steam, and also on consoles. Totally free to play and works well on pretty much any potato PC you can find these days. Alright, moving on at number 3, we got one of the most recent brand new survival games to come out, and that is Prologue Go Wayback. But do not expect zombies, monsters, or crazy action in this one because nature is your biggest enemy. It's a free, realistic open world survival game from the PlayerUnknown production, the studio founded by the creator of PUBG. And every time you start a new game, the world generated from the scratch, so there is no two playthroughs ever the same. In this game, your goal is very simple: survive. And that means finding food and water, starting fires, managing your body temperature, navigating with the map and compass, and trying to reach the safety tower before the weather gets the better of you. Honestly, I really enjoy how realistic the game feels. It got some very hardcore mechanics baked into it. There is no glowing quest markers telling you where to go, and the game doesn't hold your hand basically. You have to pay attention to your surrounding, plan your route, and think before making every decision. It has a very simple gameplay loop, but it does work really well. It is single player experience and totally free on Steam. So if you're someone who enjoy this style of slow, realistic survival mechanics and a game that does things a bit differently, this is no doubt one of the coolest games to download and try it out. If you're looking for a survival game that can keep you busy for hundreds of hours, STALZONE, or previously known as StarCraft X, is easily one of the best free options out there. The game is obviously inspired from the Stalker universe, and it throws you into this dangerous world full of radiation, mutants, strange anomalies, and rival players. There are so much stuff packed into this free game with hundreds and hours of content. There are story missions, different factions to join, tons of weapons and armor to unlock, character progression, artifact hunting, plenty of PvP and PvE content. It mixes survival, MMO, and an extraction shooter mechanics really well. It can be incredibly fun if you jump in with your friends. The game is available for free on Steam, and it's an online experience with co-op and PvP, and recently got a massive update, a complete overhaul with a brand new name, and right now very popular on Steam, having about 25,000 daily concurrent players. Alright, no surprises at number 1, but we have one of the best free-to-play survival games to come out in the last couple of years. It is none other than Once Human. And when this game launched, a lot of people expected another generic free-to-play survival game, but it ended up becoming one of the most played free-to-play games on Steam. In this game, you drop into this huge post-apocalyptic world infected by a mysterious substance called Stardust, and your job is to explore, gather resources, build a base, craft gear, fight off these weird, freaky-looking creatures, and uncover the backstory behind this world. This game is a mix of a lot of things. It got open world survival element, loot shooter mechanics, base building, and also MMO style progression in a way that is surprisingly polished for a free-to-play title in my opinion. You can play the game entirely solo and enjoy the story, but it's best to play with your friends on co-op, which makes the battles much more fun and engaging. And in 2026, this game is bigger than ever, to be honest. It recently received a massive anniversary update, add tons of new stuff, a new first-person mode, new gameplay systems, new rewards, and more content for both new and returning players. And the developers are also preparing for a huge console launch on next month, August 25, bringing the game to the current gen console with full crossplay and cross progression between PC, mobile, and console. It is no doubt one of the best free-to-play survival games you can jump in right now on Steam, and with all the new updates, new changes coming to the game, it's probably the best time to jump in if you're trying it out for the very first time. Well, there you have it guys, 10 of the best, most popular free-to-play survival games you should play right now in 2026. And let me know down in the comment section which survival games you are playing right now. And if you think I missed any hidden gems, definitely share it down in the comment section. And also if you want to stay up to date with all things related to free-to-play games, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned to the channel. And we are so close to the 75,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.